What up, gang? Carlton Flowers here, your crypto pro, taking a quick look at ICP, the Internet Computer Project. And this is completely unrehearsed. So we're just going to jump into the 4-hour chart and I'm going to give it to you straight and call it just like I see it. All right. So here we are on the 4-day chart, and boy, oh boy, this thing is just getting a beat down. This just looks bad. I can't even pull in all the price history here because it was way up at what, 2,800 and something. Look how far this thing has come down. My eyes got on this thing at around $100 as we scroll up and try to find the peak price. So I thought that $100 was the base price on it, and I was wrong. As we're still scrolling, this would take me all night to scroll. We're at 1,000 there, and that's not even halfway there. So let's just come back down. I wanted to see if we could get it in there during a little intro, but we're not. So I thought 100 bucks was the base level price, and it failed that. It continued to go down, and I thought, well, it looks like we have found value at 65 because we were at this volume node right here. So I bought 10 of these at $65. And what has happened since? It has gone down 50%. Current price, 35 bucks, almost in half. All right. And then here on the 4-hour chart, what are we looking at? We're looking at a point of control price of 35. In other words, the heaviest volume at this current price. And it's looking bearish. Where is it going from here? Well, first of all, we got a nice fat stochastic crossover there and a steep angle downward for the 4-hour chart. And just looking at the previous peaks, this is just straight bearish. Look at this peak. Okay, here's the price here at above 120. Next stochastic peak, it's down to what, 110. The next stochastic peak, it did bump up, but it didn't take out the previous high. The next one didn't even make a peak. This is a failed cycle. And then finally we get one right here that returns a lower high. We get a stochastic, if we can call this a cycle, that didn't even make it to barely 50%. So we had another lower high. And here's another peak here and yet another lower high where the MACD is doing nothing but hanging out down here in the negative zone. Not even looking like it wants to crawl back up here and cross that zero line. So this is a definite downtrend on the 4-hour. I'm not expecting much. And without considerable price history, I can't tell where this is going to go but down, because $35 is the current price and it's the point of control price. So there's nothing here. There's nothing below this but a big fat slip zone is what I call it. So if we drop down below this POC, it could just continue to drop without any indication of how far it could go. Let's look at the 1-day chart. What I'm going to end up doing, if this just really bombs, I'm going to do some DCA. That's the best thing I can do, is dollar cost average and just buy down and bring the average down. But this gives us a little bit more hope and information here on the 1-day chart. Let's see if we can fit it in here. So we can scrunch this down just to show you how high this thing went up on the ICO. Look at that price, 2,800 bucks. This is why I always tell people, don't ever buy an ICO. They all do the same thing. They come out hot out the box, then they crash. And they'll continue to go down until they find a fair price, a fair value. And if it's hype that got it started, well, that means that without the hype, there's nothing to support a price because it's pure emotion, purely. Now, looking at this stochastic on the 1-day is a little bit nicer. I mean, it's not as ugly as the 4-hour. So at least on the 1-day, we had a crossover here and we're printing in the green here with the histogram. So that's nice. We got some green bars that are happening here. That's good. And we had a crossover, then it reversed, and then it crossed over again. So it's pointing up. It looks like upward momentum there, but nothing happening up here, but downward price movement. Kind of divergent, which could be a not so good sign. But hopefully price will start to reflect this change in the stochastic direction and we'll get a movement here. Maybe the point of control price is the bottom. I pray that it is. The MACD, there's really not enough price history here to get a good idea of what it's doing. Let me scrunch this down. There's not enough there. We won't even talk about the MACD. The only thing I can say about it is that it looks like momentum is moving up with the oscillators, and we are printing green bars. So that's good. So my prayer for this, because that's all I've got to go by as a prayer, is that this is our base price right there along the POC, and that maybe we can come back down and test it once and then bump up. So if we do move up and come down and test it, then I'm going to DCA and grab another bag somewhere down here. But don't do what I'm doing. It's not financial advice. This is a crapshoot. And I totally aped in on this because I was just so excited listening to one of the loudmouths on YouTube that got me all thinking that this was just the next big thing. ICP is just a huge project for what it can do for blockchain. They were comparing it to the Graph and other, Matic, other major projects that have a significant use case, which is meaningless if there's not enough hype supporting the price. So you can use case yourself. You can use case till you're blue in the face, or you can talk about, oh, it's been on the news, or CNN is talking about it. And that doesn't mean anything other than the whales in the institution are using news networks to manipulate you, fool you into buying, so you can trade hands, have your money trade hands rather from your hand to their hands as they drive that price down, shake everyone out, and then run it up, cause a feeding frenzy, causing you to get back on board so they can get it to a all-time high and sell out before it even gets to that high. That's what happens. One other point I want to make, whenever you have like an all-time high and then you have a bear market that comes in, you think that the smart money is selling at this peak. No, they're not. I'm going to tell you what, smart money, they're selling during this time period. And then they turn loose of the balloon. They let go of the string, and the balloon continues to float up to the sky after this point. Oops, whoopsie. So after our big push upward to an all-time high, the smart money is gone. So they're selling to about right here. And then after that point, they turn loose of the strings on the balloon. This continues to float to the top. And when the helium is out of the balloon, then it comes down. And then everybody thinks, well, what's going on? It was doing so good. Well, that's because smart money institutions, they're gone before the end of the feeding frenzy. So that's it for ICP. Post your comments and thoughts about this project. If you think this is a fundamental project of the blockchain that's going to go to the moon, then let me know. I'm going to keep my 10. I'll add 10 more. I'll dollar cost average and keep it for the long run, and we'll see what happens. Not financial advice. Do your own thing. I'm out.